Very good. Collecturbation time. Good one this week, people. Grand Magus' Wolf's Return.
I never cared for the term stoner metal. There's just something so spicoli about that phrase, and it's been used broad brush by lazy critics for over 2 decades.
You know it, dude.
Since their very first album in 2001, the Swedish trio Grand Magus had produced stellar albums steep in epic and classic metal with infusions of folk, all capped by the luscious voice of one J.B. Christopherson.
No relation to Chris.
While the band has remained consistent and true to the genre over the last couple of decades, arguably the real collectible stuff is the 4 records released on Lee Dorian's Rise Above label in the early 2000s, with 2005's Wolf's Return being my personal favorite. There's just such a reverence for metal imagery in the lyrics. Hunters and kings, honor and defiance. Not a speck of the dreaded American-style irony. Plus, the 4 instrumentals on this album are hooky and full of folk metal magic like those classic Iommi pieces from the 70s. It's a short album considering the number of bloated, overlong platters dropped in the era of CD domination, but the 38-minute runtime simply adds to the magic notion that this is a record that would be just as well received in 1985 as 2005.
Yeah, you're right. That era, I remember that was when I was running the webzine, and it was like, we got to make the album 80 minutes because that's what a CD will take. No. Anyway, can I introduce the song?
Let's play a song by Grand Magus. This is Wolf's Return.
Okay, continuing on with Grand Magus, just take one listen to the bewitching strobe light riff that kicks off Repay in Kind. JB flirting with rainbow-style guitar harmonies for the solo. There's definitely a thread of 70s hard rock that runs through Grand Magus, like Coverdale singing for High on Fire or something. Instrumental Hemmed is essentially an exercise in bass heft, with some crushing doom power chords swirled in for good measure. In terms of huge JB-sized vocals, the title track may win the prize for the best on the record when he croons, "Shadow Fighter, Iron Vein, fill my soul, scream his name. You may find yourself swept up in a broomstick sword fight with your calico." Riff-wise, not sure if they ever eclipsed the opener, the one we're going to play for you now, Kingslayer. It's like an amped-up Dio-era Sabbath at its finest, scattershot with majestic harmonies. This album is high art metal majesty, important and deadly serious. Let the hipsters try to lump this in with Fu Manchu and Monster Magnet. You know better by those piercing eyes on the cover. The wolf has returned. This is Kingslayer.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.